talk about something I've learned about where to park in the city. One suggestion is to park near parking lots. So I've just noticed, as far as the spots I've been in that seem to work well, where you feel like you're not getting a lot of hassle or anything, and parking lots. Those are industrial buildings. I don't like the environment. It's too constraining, and it's usually trashy and abandoned, and the next morning it's loud with all kinds of industrial noise or construction. You just feel isolated, like you're out in the middle of nowhere and anything could happen. I would say parking near colleges is good. It's sort of like an industrial area, but it's school buildings and there's lots of people. So, but you know, you have to watch out for looky-loos. I mean, I would say our main enemy is looky-loos. Or our looky-loos. So a looky-loo to me is this person that sees you. Maybe they're in their office building, or they live in an apartment building or a house. I would say residential homeowners are the worst looky-loos. Or it could be at a park, and it could be someone just visiting the park and they just don't like the way your RV looks. You're messing up the aesthetic. So they call the city and complain, and then parking enforcement comes out. That happened to me. I was at this park, and next thing I know, the tow people are there, the parking enforcement, and you know, they just made up some story. What they'll do is, if someone complains, they'll just look for some excuse. So you have to have everything in order. In my case, I had done my registration, but it was incomplete. I was waiting for my smog check, and my tag said 2016. So even though on the computer, and I had a permit here, you know, but even on the computer says what's going on, they just, you know, all they need is an excuse. So that's what they look for. But I learned from that they can't, in LA, they can't tow you if someone's inside it. So just know that, in LA anyway. I don't know what the rules are in other places, but you know, they're out to get us, man. They don't like this, you know. We're hacking the system, we're breaking the rules, we're not conforming to society's norms, and they don't like that. The system wants to suck you in. So you have to be vigilant, which is kind of stressful, honestly. I mean, I would have to say that one of the downsides of this lifestyle is the stress of worrying about being towed and being vandalized and robbed, you know, or burglarized. So the second one is easy to fix. Just get insurance that covers your, you know, RV, and then you don't have to worry about that. And just make sure that when you leave your RV, you don't leave something that can't be replaced easily, you know, like a laptop with all your data on it or something, you know, because I'm sure with the insurance, I haven't gone through this process, but I'm sure it will take a couple weeks to get the money. The other issue is being towed. So you just have to be vigilant about where you park. Make sure you understand the signs clearly. But that's not even a problem, because the way it works is it's only by enforcement, by complaint. So they basically have the signs, but they don't really enforce it unless someone complains about it. So, you know, if you're in a 2-hour parking zone and you've been there for 2 days and no one complains, probably nothing's going to happen unless you're in a really busy street. But, you know, some little side street in LA, nothing's going to happen. But if someone complains, then that, you know, and they say, oh, you've been there for 2 days, and, you know, then they'll come out and they'll try to find some excuse to tow you, because the homeowners, the property owners come first. So, because they pay the property taxes, and they tend to complain the most about what's going on. So, you know, they care about where they live and what's going on, and they're going to be more vigilant than, say, apartment renters. You know, if you have a really trashy RV and you pull up right next to their window, they might complain. But if you're across the street and your RV looks decent and you're only there for a couple days, they probably won't complain. But a homeowner, they might complain the minute you pull up. So you want to avoid being in front of houses. But I would say parking lots are pretty cool, and if you can find these sort of quasi-industrial areas, so like this area here that I'm in, let me show you. So I'm here, there's this office building here. I'm near the University of Southern California, and then there's this parking lot that takes up the entire street, as you can see, the entire street. I mean, and the other thing about this street is it ends. So basically when this parking lot ends, the street ends, and it's nothing but parking lots and this office building here. And it's a hidden street, it's not a through street. I've lived in this area for years, and I just recently, I stumbled on the street one day when I was coming out of Starbucks, and I went down an alley. And so I have to check out the signage, but I'm thinking this could be a good spot to park. I have pretty much 3 main spots now, but that park was one of them. I feel like I need to diversify my spots because I'm getting too comfortable. I think it's really important to move around a lot. You know, it's like you got to move around. I would say every 3 days to a week at the most. Just move. Like, even if it looks like everything's fine, just move, because you know people are gonna notice you after a while. You're kind of invisible for the first 3 days. Then on day 4, people are like, wait a minute, where'd that RV come from? Then they start watching you, they see you, you're in their perception. And after a week, if you haven't moved, they start, it's like as more time goes by, they start noticing you and understanding your routines and whatever. And for whatever reason, if they don't like you, then they're going to call the parking enforcement or the police. You know, that's just the way it is. So if you move after 3 days, which is kind of a hassle, you know, you'll be okay. Nothing really happens in 3 days, almost anywhere. But a week, you're kind of pushing it. 2 weeks, definitely pushing it. Like when I was at that park, I was over there for over a week. That was my 3rd time there, and the other 2 times, I was only there a couple days, and nothing happened. You know, and even that time, I was in one corner of the park across from these houses, and I was there almost a week. So anyway, parking lots are good because there's no one over here. And so, yeah, so that's just a suggestion for you. Okay, let me know what you think in the comments. I just realized something. I need to make it clear. When I say the parking lots, I'm not talking about parking in the parking lots. No, you don't want to do that because it's private property. And yeah, I mean, you know, but maybe you could work an arrangement where you pay them so much per month, or I've thought about that, you know, just doing monthly parking in the parking lot. You know, someone will probably complain about that too. People just freaking hate RVs. I don't know what it is. Like, we're not bothering you. It triggers something in people. Like, I don't know. So the other thing, what I meant was just next to the parking lot. Like, yeah, like I am now in this car. I'm next to the parking lot on the street. So that's what I was talking about, just to be clear.